Welcome to our Priestess Circle. I am your host and High Priestess Clarity Barton, and for this new moon in Aries and spring equinox, I invite Fern Olivia to share her wisdom with us. In this episode, Fern talks about the importance of opening our voice for speaking our truth and having more freedom in our self-expression and communication within our relationships. Fern Olivia is a musician, Kirtan singer, facilitator of retreats and trainings, and founder of the Embodied Vocal Breathwork method. Fern has shared and explored music in many groups and genres, including medicine music, Kirtan, Bhakti chants, vocal overtone, and ceremony, and work with master plant teachers. Her voice and music are sourced in the frequency of divine love and gratitude and express a profound connection with the spirits of nature and the path of the heart. She currently resides in the Caribbean coast of Costa Rica, where she produces musical meditation and teaches as a personal vocal activation coach and offers sound journeys and breathwork for events and retreats. Combining her education in biomedical engineering with her studies in yoga and integrative nutrition, Fern Olivia has also created thyroid yoga, a unique approach to supporting thyroid health, and that has changed the lives of thousands of women and men around the world. After the discussion, Fern will lead an embodied vocal breathwork practice for connecting with our inner wisdom and ability to express our prayers and elevate our frequency. I hope that you receive tons of blessings from this discussion and practice. The circle is now open. Welcome to our New Moon Priestess Circle. Welcome, Olivia. Fern.
It's okay. Everyone calls me. It's so funny.
Sometimes.
So many people from Europe call me Olivia, and I don't correct them because I love my middle name almost as much as I love my first name. And when I went to Europe this last year, there were so many olives everywhere. I was like, okay, you can call me Olivia. I'm in love. I'm in love with olives. So
they're both so juicy, just as you are. Thank you so much
sensual.
for accepting this invitation and for being here as an embodied goddess in Costa Rica. This beautiful fairy goddess jungly life that you live is conveyed through this podcast and through our video. If you have the chance to connect to the video of this podcast. And I'm really excited to share around this theme today of vocal activation. It's also the spring equinox and new moon in Aries. So there's a lot of opening, of manifestation, of expressing, of creating that is happening right now. And so I think it's very fitting to address this topic, and a lot more people are interested in really activating their voice, and I think especially women, because we have been suppressing that voice, whether it's that actual act of speaking or just our ideas and our opinions haven't been expressed as much. So it's very important to now open these gates to flow our truth and our wisdom into the world. And I'm so happy that you are part of this huge movement and revolution. And to begin, I wanted to ask you how you got into doing this work.
Thank you so much, Clarity, High Priestess. First of all, I'm so happy to be here and to be sharing this wisdom today, whatever is coming through me in the moment. I'm just so excited, whatever is meant to be shared with this audience today, listening live and recorded. For example, when I worked on Wall Street back in 2000, I worked there for 7 years, and I was completely stuck in my body. I didn't sing. When I did my yoga teacher training, I was still working on Wall Street in 2011, and I would not chant Om. I was so afraid to sing, to even express myself. When I first started teaching yoga, I would say inhale and exhale. I didn't even chant an invocation. I was so afraid to hear myself sing when somebody else was chanting. So there was a big block there within me. But when I was a child, I loved to sing. I sang in the forest. I sang with my horses. I think that there was a time when I was a little fairy in the forest, like complete Disney princess. I made my own loop station at when I was really little, I had a bunch of cassette players, cassette tapes from the 80s. If you're from the 80s or 90s, you know what I mean. So I had these cassette players, and I would record myself singing one part and then another part and then loop it together. And so there was a part of me that I lost when I think when I went into the working world, and I lost my sense of who I was, and I lost that sense of soul connection. And singing came back to me when I moved to LA. I joined a group at the Bhakti Yoga Shala. If any of you are familiar with Govindas and Radha, beautiful musicians. I started chanting in their Monday night kirtans, and then I started falling in love with the way my heart felt in kirtan, which is, if you're not familiar with kirtan or bhakti, it's the practice of devotion, of singing to energies that really merge you with the divine spirit and your divine essence in a way that feels so warm and so safe. So I was falling in love with my voice through that. And then when I moved to Costa Rica, and we'll talk about that later, I'm sure, when I moved to Costa Rica from LA, another portal of my voice opened that became boundless. Like, there was no fear in my singing anymore. It was like, this is what's meant to come out into the world. And now my voice has even expanded even more after these years of singing kirtan and being with other people who are fully expressed. We all are able to amplify that freedom together, which I feel is so powerful. And another point I can't wait to talk more about. So that's how I got to where I am now. A lot of it is chanting and singing in community, singing at festivals, singing at retreats, singing in Santa Teresa, where Clarity and I did a lot of work together and chanting together. We were able to have these huge groups of maybe 50, 100 people under these beautiful trees on the beach, Natsunia, for example. And that, for me, singing with everyone and hearing everyone's voice, it was like, oh, this is what you're meant to do. This is so healing for each other, for ourselves, for the trees, for the environment. I was like, this is the nectar. This is what I have to do in my life. So
it is so beautiful. And I remember these moments. I attended a few kirtans where you were present, and the community there is so powerful. Everyone's really open to this kind of work, and the nature is there to ground those prayers, because they're really prayers. And so my next question is, for someone who's maybe not so much into all of this stuff, right? That is not necessarily wanting to go into kirtan and big groups chanting, but still want to activate their voice. What transformation can you say they might experience from doing a vocal activation?
Yeah, so I totally relate to that because, for example, myself, when I was back in my early stages of yoga for me was a physical practice. It meant stretching. It meant just, doing some lunges and getting some contractions out of my body, and like getting some stress out of my body, tension out. But it wasn't spiritual until the bhakti practice. So there's no rush on chanting. You don't have to chant. You can simply use the practice that we're going to go into together in this session to help you even tone vowels, just to sing vowels with no specific song, no specific lyrics. That practice is so empowering because you start to connect with hearing your own voice, and hearing your own sound current is the most powerful sound current that you can hear, that you personally can hear, is your own voice. And the other night I went on my voice recordings on my iPhone, and I have recordings from back in 2016 when I lived back in LA, and I have my manifestations on there of the man I wanted to meet. And I listened to that from 2016. I talk about, thank you, universe. Thank you for bringing this man into my life, like basically manifesting as if he already exists. And it's so powerful. I also talk about the work that I'm doing in the world, that my work is celebrated, that I feel so good in my body, that I have all these dream clients. And I listen to it now and I'm like, oh my gosh, all of this happened. Even the dream man, it's ridiculous because it's so spot on. So listening to and I used to listen to these voice messages as I was hiking in Malibu, as I was, going, washing the dishes, I would listen to this. So another point of the voice activation is that it doesn't necessarily need to be singing, and it doesn't necessarily need to be like quote quote spiritual. The voice activation practice helps you to get comfortable with speaking what it is that you want into the world, into the universe, into the field of possibilities. Because when you can hear your own prayers and you can listen to them back to you, you're creating an imprint, just like listening to a song that you love. Those lyrics, repetitive. That's why mantra is so amazing, because you're, instead of hearing all the time, I don't have money, or I can't do this, or I don't have this person in my life, you're hearing over and over again your own voice telling you how amazing you are, how sexy you feel with your new lover, even if that person isn't in your life yet. So it's really powerful.
Such priestess work, to work with words and manifestation through affirmations, and just being very strong in that and feeling the frequency of each word. And I really wonder how you've experienced this transformation in yourself. If you look at the Fern that lived on Wall Street or worked on Wall Street, and now the Fern that you are, what would you say would be the big difference with how that has affected your life?
Wow, the Fern that worked on Wall Street was, she was confident in her work, I would say, because she was great at her, getting things done and executing. That's my human design is a generator. So you could put me in a work situation. If you ask me to do something, I'm going to do it. So I was great. However, I wasn't great at commanding my own, what I wanted in my life, right? Like I just let people I was vacillating, between, oh yeah. But a people pleaser, didn't have boundaries. Working entrepreneurship wise, I always let others kind of push me, and they're like, do this, Fern, or this, I never really commanded what I wanted, and I wasn't negotiating. Someone say this costs this much, I had no question. I didn't even ask about anything, ethics, My integrity wasn't as good, because even recently I've had to really command my own integrity and command the integrity of others. And that's a practice that the vocal activation really helps with, is commanding your own integrity. What is integrity to you? How do you command that in all the people in your space? And working on Wall Street, I didn't do that. I could have stood up for myself more, or stood up for others more, or stood up for the right practices more. So that's something also that Fern now has really stepped into. And all of the practices have helped, like chanting mantra, because you get into a certain frequency when you're there that you just become really pure. That practice commands your devotion, it commands purity. So that's the difference of Fern now versus Wall Street Fern 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
I love how you described this opening of the voice to manifest the life that you want, actually to create the life that you want. And look at you where you are now and the life you're living. It's really a product of this work that you've done for yourself. And it's so beautiful to witness. And I wonder if you have any other story of vocal activation that you've experienced in your workshops that you can tell us about, to describe a little bit how we can expect this work to come about.
Yeah, so what I notice when I give these voice activation workshops, both on retreats, I get clients that come for one-on-one work with me and with my partner as well, and we infuse the medicine of cacao, nature, sound journeys, all into that when we have people come, or groups as well. And what I've seen, this one woman came here last month, and she really felt locked here in her throat chakra and her voice. And we used cacao first to set an intention, open the field of, unconditional love, and brought that energy in so she could feel really safe and held. And the heart is opened with cacao. Cacao, if you're not familiar with cacao, I know Clarity you are, but for people who aren't, drinking cacao every day, cacao really activates and opens this area of the heart to put you in a space of expression, unconditional love for yourself, compassion. So we start with that. And then we go into some openings, invocations, prayers. And then what happens is a surrender, a letting go through the breath work, also a letting go of the ego. So then the higher self can come in through the vocal activation. And all of a sudden she starts singing codes. How do I describe this for some of you? Some of you know codes and, you know, light language and, you know, singing, just singing and you know, different things like that, where it's not a language that the human mind can pick out what it means, right? But if I sing that to you while you're in a sound journey, and I sing, if I can feel that your womb is grieving, right? Let's say you had a miscarriage, or let's say that you had some trauma in your womb, and I could just sense that because I'm very energetically sensitive, and I can sense that, and I go to you and I sing to your womb. I've had clients that lay there and start crying because it's not that I'm saying something to your womb in English or Spanish or Bhakti, you know, Sanskrit. I'm singing a language from my soul to your soul, and there's no barrier. The emotions just come, pour out. So that's what she was doing. When she was laying there in the vocal activation, she started healing her own body and started singing affirmations to herself through these codes that's the only way I can really describe them, as codes of light, of pure consciousness. And that's not a rare experience. I mean, in groups, when we do sound experiences, sound healings and vocal activations in groups, when we invite that space, I can hear it in the videos that people record and send me or share on Instagram. And I hear, because I'm sitting in the front, so usually I'm just hearing myself and my partner through the microphone. But then when I see these videos, you can hear people, oh yeah, hey, oh, yeah, or oh yeah, and they're singing and healing their own body. And it's profound because everyone has different codes, or everyone has different languages, or whatever it is that we want to call it, but everyone's got this like power to speak these prayers, sing these prayers. And yeah, so that's something that's, I feel, is so powerful in this practice. Especially doing it alone with us is great, or by yourself is great, but then when you have a big group of people all singing this, it feels like you're in this big ancient tribe, and everyone's singing these codes or frequencies from, you know, many ancient places. You know, you might have a past life in Africa, and then all of a sudden that comes through you and you're like, I don't even know, but I don't know. It could be sounding Asian, it could be sounding Brazilian, but so many people have these different rhythms that they're just innately called into through these practices. And you can remember who you are. You can remember maybe your purpose in this life through this practice. I've had people not only feel like they're healing their bodies, but then, or resolving traumas, but then also figuring out, oh my goodness, there's a woman, actually, another private retreat that came to us last week or 2 weeks ago. She said in the experience, she felt herself plan out the next 5 years of her life, like figure out her purpose, what she wants to do. So there's so many things. I think the voice is this portal to limitless possibilities. Exactly. And it's a way to express all these emotions, all of these plans and dreams. It's wild.
Definitely. It sounds like a portal. That's kind of what's coming through as you're expressing these kind of experiences that people can have during these vocal activations, on top of the healing that is done. And that healing can also come from this portal, meaning an opening into different dimensions where we can access information in our subconscious mind that can be tremendously healing or revealing for us to guide us. And I've definitely experienced a lot of that myself, and sound journeys too. And I know you lead sound journeys. So it seems like we kind of go into a trance, like, so maybe there's like a phase of relaxing into this openness, into this new state of being with our voice and our throat wide open as a portal for us to receive these codes and these messages as much as we're sharing with the world from this open state. I love that. I love that you're doing such a beautiful priestess work. I teach 7 archetypes of the divine feminine through the 7 chakras. And so I pair a chakra with a different divine feminine archetype. And the throat is actually the priestess in my training. And it's so fitting because it is really a place where we create the container and we set those boundaries and we create those spells. But it's also a place where we can clear a lot. And in a lot of mystical traditions, the throat is actually a clearing chakra. And with that element of ether, we can really, it's space, right? Ether is space. So there's a lot of, clearing the darkness. So if we're feeling a little bit confused, perhaps we can just clarify actually what our intention is, or work with affirmation, just like you were describing. There's one more thing that I wanted to mention, and I wanted your opinion on, because I have an amazing way to use the throat in my tantric practices. And I teach this in my course too, because it's such a revelation. I don't know if you've heard of this before, but there's a deep correlation between the throat and the sacral.
Yes.
Which is why, you know, all this talk about boundaries is so relevant, because it has to do with relationship, expressing your desires and feeling safe, like creating that container for your pleasure, etc. So it all comes down to a throat. But there's also this connection with pleasure. So you can actually experience a lot of pleasure in your throat. And from my experience, when you do, it really helps to open your throat chakra even more. So I just wanted your opinion on this. If you have any story to tell us, or if there's any insights that you can give us on this phenomenon.
You can ask my partner Maxime. You can ask him how vocal I am. So I really, really believe, and I know that it's impossible for me to be silent. I mean, I remember one man got triggered from any sound, like whatsoever, like no sound, like wanted it completely silent. And I just remember that I would like almost orgasm, and then it would stop because I was like, don't make a sound, don't make a sound. And it's really interesting because when women are tight in their jaw, also I notice a lot, because I used to give a lot of energy work and do a lot more teaching hands-on, and I remember seeing women so tight here, and then their hips would be completely locked. So if that sounds like you in a yoga class, let yourself sigh when you're doing goddess pose, you know, with your knees out to the side, or when you're doing a pigeon pose. You know, let yourself sigh, especially when you're practicing on your own at home. Sometimes in a yoga class, it might be a little bit strange to be the one being like, but for me, it's so normal in a yoga class. And I always, when I teach yoga, because I do teach a lot of candlelit yoga now with live music, and I say, like, sigh with the music, be loud, like let yourself be heard, because it gives everyone permission when they hear you release and sigh. It gives people next to you permission. So I think generally women hold a lot of tension in their hips from trauma, from not feeling worthy, from all different reasons, right? But it's stored in the hips and in the sacral and the low back. So I think a good practice, just to get more comfortable in the bedroom of sighing, is just do it on your own, right? Because I know so many women, including myself, felt as a child like shame around self-pleasure. Even it's a whole nother topic, but you know, shame around self-pleasure, shame around the voice is so relevant to why do we feel shameful to sing our most amazing song, to give our gifts to the world, to express our heart to someone that we care about. So it starts with within. That's why the vocal activation practice is so powerful, because you can do it. I'm releasing on Spotify these breathwork practices so you can do them in the comfort of your home, or you can do it with your partner in bed. You can lay there next to each other and tone together, and that will help you also. This is amazing. I just thought of this, that you can do this practice with someone you are romantic with, and that way you both start to breathe together, because that's very tantric, and it's an amazing tantric practice just to match each other's breath, as you know. And maybe some of you listeners are already practicing this. If you're not, try it. It will enhance your lovemaking so much, to sync your breath, and then also to synchronize your toning, and just to hear each other's voice. And I know for me, it's so liberating to hear my partner sing. I'm just like, oh, wow, he's expressed. It's so sexy to hear a man who's in his power with his voice and his music. And so just think about how that must feel for a man who really, really cherishes the goddess, right? Like, it probably feels for him like it feels for us when we see a man in his creative power. And your sacral is your creation. It's your power of liberation. So a man will be, or a woman, depending on what you're with, is going to be so just like, wow, this other being is so comfortable with themselves. That's what it is all about. Like, how free can you be with yourself? This person's so free with themselves. That is so sexy. That is so divine. That is, then, that person doesn't feel like they have expectation or pressure, because you're already expressed and you can fly. So that's just a little, my little 2 cents on sensuality and the sacral chakra and the throat. It's, once you master that connection, your life is like creative power.
Wow, all of this sounds so juicy, and I can't wait to experience that. Just one last question around listening, because I know that the throat chakra, every chakra is actually connected to a different sense, and the throat is connected to the sense of hearing. So how do you work with that in your vocal activation? What can you say with that listening ability that we have? Because a lot of people are able to express, or some people are able to express very well, but perhaps they're not good listeners. So tell us how these two really work together to balance the throat.
I love that. That's so beautiful too, because in the vocal activation practice, there are moments where I say, okay, listen to the voices around you. Take a deep inhale, and as you're inhaling, listen to the harmony of what's going on around you, the angelic frequencies around you, so people can really hear. And then I say, okay, now match that frequency and sing in your own way now, hearing that, and then inhale a moment again. So everyone's inhaling and singing at different moments. If this is a group, for example, if it's a personal practice, in the vocal activation, when I'm guiding a personal journey, in the breath holds, either Maxime, my partner, or myself will sing angelic overtones, very high frequency, while you're holding your breath, and playing some instruments that have a drone, like a shruti, or singing bowls, or a little steel drum. We'll be playing those during the breath hold. So then you'll be listening to that frequency, and then you're getting all of that transmission as you're holding, as you're listening, and you're feeling, wow, okay, this is the frequency I'm now on. This is where I'm riding. I'm flying. So then when I say sing, which you'll experience in a moment, you're already on that level. It's not like a, or, you're not like, you're already like, because you're in that, you're uplifted. Like, we've brought you up. And if you listen, and if you're really listening and being present, you'll be carried into that frequency.
Beautiful. I love how you just described this attuning to a certain frequency with the voice, and earlier with people, attuning to each other, attuning to your partner,
yes,
to the group, as a way to connect and to flow together, to get into this flow state, to travel and transcend some personal barriers that we might have. Thank you so much for describing all of this wisdom and your experience of doing this work, and in your personal life as well. So you're going to be leading us into a practice right now. Tell us a little bit more.
Yes, I am. I'm really excited because this is, we can talk about it and it's like already like, oh, I want to do it. And the experience of it creates an imprint within you that might be lasting. It can open up something that is a new portal that you can explore even deeper. So what this practice is going to entail is some breath work. We're going to do 3 rounds of holotropic breath. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. We're going to do that together. I'll guide it on a rhythm, but you're your own master, your own teacher, your own guru. If you need to go slower today, if you are, needing to take a break and just listen for a moment, then that's your practice. I'm a guide. I'm here to give you a container for, you to follow that structure if you can. Otherwise, come back to it when you're ready, because I'll keep going and then you'll find your way back. Okay. Then we're going to do some breath holds. And in those breath holds, again, I will guide and say, okay, keep holding your breath, keep holding your breath. But, everyone's lung capacity is different. Everyone's, if you've been practicing breath work for a while, you might be able to hold a little bit longer. So you can, or you might need to exhale or inhale a little bit faster than I'm guiding. Again, you're your own teacher. So listen to yourself, and then you can always come back to this practice or my other guided breath works, and then you'll work up. Your body starts to be able to hold the breath longer. But either way, just listen to your body, listen to my voice, and you can close your eyes and let yourself be carried, because I'm going to guide you through some other breath holds and other breathing practices throughout. It's very hypnotic. The whole purpose too is to put you in a state of trance where you're out of your mind, you're out of your judgment ego of saying, I'm not a singer, or whatever limiting belief, whatever doubt you're currently, looking to clear on this really powerful new moon time of expression, exploring your passion in the world, creating something that has a powerful impact. And from that, you need to express it to the world. So this will take away your judgment, your thinking mind, your analytical mind of, okay, maybe I can't do this because XYZ. This is going to clear that if you allow it, if you really surrender. And so close your eyes, listen to my voice, and there will be a part where you express yourself and where you sing. And since you may be in the comfort of your own home, you might be on a bus or a plane, or, listening to this podcast in public, maybe you can test yourself and sing as you're in that place. Maybe someone around you gets really inspired and they're like, what are you doing? What are you listening to? And you can share this with them, and it might, help them tremendously. So that's my little intro about it. Shall we get started?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Super excited. Okay, so let's ground first of all, because we've done so much talking. It's taking a moment to just come into your own body and your presence, and take a moment to allow yourself to close your eyes and get into a place where you feel aware of what's underneath you. Maybe you can feel contact with the earth. Maybe you can visualize yourself sitting somewhere completely heavenly, heaven on earth. And visualize tree trunk roots underneath your seat, underneath where you're sitting currently. Visualize a tree trunk anchoring you down into the crystalline core of the earth, so you feel grounded here. And at the same time, there's cosmic energy over the crown of your head, and this cosmic energy is going to help you to fly. So visualize yourself connecting with your angels, your guides, your ancestors, the ethereal world, the energy of benevolent light. And crown yourself with a beautiful halo of golden sun energy. And feel this sprinkling all over your body in all directions, giving you this envelope of protection and anchoring you in sacred space to begin this practice. And we're going to now start the holotropic breath practice. So a reminder, it's inhale through the nose, exhale mouth. As you exhale, your belly is going to go towards your spine, and you can visualize yourself just pressing out old energy. Inhale in fresh, and exhale. So we'll go together now. Keep going. It can be your own rhythm. Inhale, deep breath in through your nose. Sip in a little bit more. A little bit more to the crown of your head. Sip in through your nose. Hold your breath. Do not breathe out. Bring your navel towards your spine. Relax your shoulders. Now exhale everything out, and you're going to exhale everything out and stay empty. Hold empty, empty, empty. Relax your head, relax your nose, your eyes, your ears, your fingers. And feel yourself melt into the earth, merging with those roots underneath you, merging with the medicine of this earth underneath you. Becoming so still within yourself, surrendered into the magic of what it is that you are calling in, what you are creating. Now inhale, deep breath in through your mouth. Breathe with more love, more abundance, more joy, more peace. And hold. Relax your shoulders. Keep your breath held full and fill yourself up with gratitude, with the energy of manifestation, with the energy of attraction. And as you hold your breath, feel yourself becoming more magnetic, more sensual, in your feminine ability to literally just be a magnet by being. In your mind's eye, see yourself magnetizing toward you, what it is that you are desiring today, right now. And then as you sit here with your breath held full, visualize yourself and embody yourself in having that. And visualize and feel yourself in that frequency. There's nothing else that you need, nothing else to attain. You just are receiving it. You're just there, witnessing that. Exhale all the breath out. Inhale through your nose. Exhale mouth. Inhale mouth. Exhale nose. Inhale nose. Exhale mouth. Inhale mouth. Exhale nose. Inhale nose. Exhale mouth. Inhale mouth. Sip in a little bit more. A little bit more. Exhale, completely sigh. And ready for round two. Inhale nose. Exhale mouth. Keep going. Visualize your ancestors marching with you. Keep going with this breath. Visualize yourself being celebrated, being rejoiced for simply having the courage to show up. Inhale, deep breath in. More. Hold. Exhale all the breath out and stay empty at the bottom. Empty fear, empty disillusionment, empty disease, empty sadness or grief, empty. All those emotions, hold empty. Relax your head, relax your tongue, eyes. Inhale, deep breath in, sip in love, sip in gratitude, health, joy, freedom. More. Take in a little more. How much can you get into your heart? Hold that at the crown of your head, feeling waves of pleasure, of prosperity, wrapping around the spinal cord, the Sushumna Nadi, bringing that Kundalini energy up. You can squeeze your perineum, you can squeeze your Mula Bandha, your navel center, and bring the energy up to the crown of your head as hold. Feel yourself as the powerful priestess you are, the powerful divine soul that you are. And as you hold, embody yourself in this royal space. Remember who you are. Remember your power to create magic in this world. Only magic that you know how to, that your soul is remembering, that no one else can do the way you can. And count of 3, 2, 1, we're going to exhale. 3, 2, 1, exhale everything out. Inhale, nose. Exhale, mouth. Inhale, mouth. Exhale, nose. Inhale, nose. Exhale, sigh. One more round. Here we go. Powerful breath. March with your ancestors, march with your sisters and brothers on this path. Inhale, exhale. Visualize your whole tribe around you doing this with you, celebrating you, breathing this energy into the world, this powerful energy of co-creation. Everyone deserves to be happy. Everyone deserves to have their dream come true. Everyone has the support they need. Everyone has the ability to be in their power, in their joy. So keep this breath going as you remember this truth in yourself as the divine being that you are. Inhale, deep breath in. More into your heart. More into your throat. The crown of your head. Sip in a little bit more. Exhale everything out. Empty more. Relax your head. Hold empty. Relax your shoulders. Relax your lips and your jaw. And if there's any support that you need right now to feel more secure within this earth, feel that being received into your sacral chakra right now. Anything you need to feel more security, to be more creative, to be more expressed. Call in that safety, call in that protection, call in that discernment, call in your integrity, call in your sacredness into your sacral, the sacredness that is yours, the purity, the innocence that you can create as a child of God or goddess. Feel completely held. Inhale, deep breath in, fill up with this truth. Remember your royalty, remember your worthiness. Sip in a little more. Hold for a moment. Feel yourself fly with your angels, your guides, your brothers and sisters, the winged ones. Hold. Feel yourself so ready to express yourself in this divine way, so ready to share your gifts with the world, so ready to feel more joy in your life, in your relationships, to feel fully safe in your expression. On the count of 3, 2, 1, sigh. Ah. Exhale again. Sigh, and let that sigh turn into an ah song. Ah, ah, keep going. Ah, ah, ah. Start to play with different pitches, different frequencies of ah. Ah. Let your voice really expand. Let your mouth fully open. Ah. And start to add in e's and ahs and a's and o's. Oh, hey, ah, yeah, ooh. Keep going, keep singing your soul song as if you're sending a prayer to the universe, to your higher self, something that you are calling in. Sing this prayer out with complete confidence, complete readiness. What is it that you're looking to experience in this life? Feel yourself singing this as a declaration that you are ready to experience it. And really listen to your voice. And you might start to sing in a language you don't know yet. It just feels so good to sing it. So start to finish your soul song in this moment. We could go on and on and on for hours like this. I love to. And for that, we will continue together. If you feel called to find me, we can keep singing these soul songs and prayers in more sessions and experiences and festivals and all the magical places where our souls are meant to continue this together, because it's such powerful work. So for a moment, just feel inside yourself how it feels to have a taste of this freedom, and make a declaration to yourself that you will let yourself be heard more. You'll let yourself be felt and experienced in the rawness and the richness of your truest expression. Ah. How was that for you, Clarity?
Just like deep sigh. That is so nourishing here in my chest. It
Yay.
felt very like soothing, like I was massaging my like that space between my heart and my throat. Thank you
Mm.
so much for that. I love that combination of breath work and chanting and sounding, and just makes so much sense because we're moving so much energies here in the throat when we're chanting and when we're breathing. And it just made me think of that simple practice to sing what we want to see in the world and to manifest through singing our intentions. It's so simple, but it's so powerful, because I think with the singing there's the emotion, and I felt that when you were cueing into, breathing and sounding, there was just so much intention there along with the practice. It was like a living prayer in the body. It was so beautiful.
Ooh, I love that. It felt, I want to remember that, and it's going to anchor within me today. It felt like a living prayer was moving through my body.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is so beautiful. Felt like a living prayer was moving through. That's exactly how it feels for me too. So you just put words to my feeling.
Thank you again so much for sharing all your wisdom with that and your skills in facilitation, because you just really create this beautiful goddess cocoon around us for us to be able to sigh and to relax and to express and to be curious and playful. So thank you for creating that space for whoever's listening. I'm excited to share this for the spring equinox, for people to really take a step into opening their voice even more. I think the world really needs that, along with listening more, listening to ourselves and listening to others, to be able to share our emotions and be more compassionate, more intelligent in our relationships and with each other and for the world. So it was such a pleasure to co-create with you, Fern. You
Thank
are
you.
such a sister, and I'm excited to come back to Costa Rica to be in that beautiful setting where you are, because right here
Yes.
I am not in the same setting as people can see if they have the video. So yeah, I'm really excited to be co-creating. I hope you'll be back in
Yes.
Santa Teresa or wherever we
Yes, or come to the Caribbean. I'm going to give everyone who's watching the video a little view of my office here, just to come out and come to this beauty. If you'd like to retreat in Costa Rica here, I would absolutely love it. And Clarity, if you want to come co-create on the Caribbean, it is magic. It's such wow, Lumerian energy here, and it's so pristine and so clean. So this is where I'm based in the Caribbean. However, I'm calling in festivals. So if you're going to be in Europe and or South America, Latin America, North America, Africa, Egypt, all the cool places, let me know, because if you are a listener on this podcast too, and you are one of those people who just love to bounce around the world, go to festivals and retreats, then please connect with me, because I love to do that. I'm such a floaty fairy that loves to go to festivals, sing at festivals, share this work at festivals. So, and retreats as well. So that's really calling to me right now. So that's in part of my soul prayer that I was just singing out, was like, send me where I'm meant to go. I want to share this work so much in the world. I'm so passionate about it. I love teaching to big groups, because when we can really amplify our voices together, there's such magic and so many portals are opened. So yeah, if any of you feel like helping and supporting that, and knowing where my soul can go, then please be the messenger for that.
And people can also reach out to you for vocal coaching sessions and to
Yes.
attend some of your beautiful retreats and trainings, because you're actually training this embodied vocal breath,
Yes.
right?
I the method that I created, that we just gave a little taste of today. I am giving a training in Costa Rica. There's multiple dates for that. You can find that on my website, Embodied embodiedvocalbreathwork.com. Also on my Instagram, you can connect with me for details. I also will give trainings online. You got to apply though, because if it's online, we're working one-on-one, and we'll see if that's a good fit, because I love this work so much. I dedicate so much energy to it. So I want to make sure that you're ready, because it's powerful, and we go in there, and it's really amazing what transforms in your life when you do these vocal practices. So many stories I can tell you about on what my clients have manifested. It's wow, the divine love, the like soul partnership, co-creation, abundance, homes, and physical things as well. It's so cool what happens when we unlock this portal of the voice and really expand it. So I'm so grateful to be a guide for this. And if you feel called to work with me, then Fern Olivia on Instagram. My partner and I have a music duo. It's called Prana More Musica, but you can find it all on Fern Olivia, and we can share more together.
Yeah, we can link that in the description.
Yes.
Thank you again for this beautiful practice and all that you shared. I look forward to more of you and more co-creation. Stay well, and we'll catch each other soon.
Thank you, beauty. And thank you to all who listened. I love you with my whole heart. Thank you for showing up and being who you are in this world and letting your voice be heard, because we're all listening and we're all co-creating that vibration of freedom with you. When you really express yourself, so many people are inspired around you. So
beautiful new moon in Aries and spring equinox to you, Fern, and to everyone connecting here.
Thank you.